Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt invisible? Have you ever reached out to someone only to be met with silence? The sting of being ignored is something we all experience at some point in life. It's painful. It shakes our confidence and it makes us question our worth. But let me tell you something. Being ignored is not a reflection of your value. It is a sign, a lesson, a redirection. You see, life has a way of teaching us through silence. When someone ignores you, it is not always rejection. Sometimes it is a reminder to prioritize yourself. It is a sign that you are investing your energy in the wrong places, that you need to step back and see who truly values your presence. The truth is, we often chase after people who were never meant to walk our journey with us. We tie our happiness to their attention, believing that their approval defines us. But real strength comes from recognizing that your worth is not dependent on someone else's acknowledgement. You are whole on your own. So the next time someone ignores you, don't let it break you. Let it build you. Let it teach you resilience. Let it guide you toward those who truly appreciate you. Let it be a sign that you deserve better, because you do. Remember, rejection is not the end. It is often the beginning of a beautiful transformation. Keep shining even when no one is looking, because your light does not need permission to shine. Being ignored is one of the most painful experiences a person can go through. It leaves behind a feeling of rejection, making one question their self-worth and importance. The silence from someone we value can be deafening, creating doubts and insecurities within us. We often seek validation from others, believing that their attention is proof of our significance. But in reality, being ignored is not always a sign of rejection. It is often a lesson, a hidden message that life is trying to teach us. When someone ignores you, it can feel as though you don't matter. You may wonder what you did wrong, why you are being treated this way, or if you are simply not good enough. But the truth is, sometimes being ignored is a sign that you are focusing on the wrong people. It is a message from the universe telling you that your energy is being invested in places where it is not appreciated. Instead of allowing the pain to consume you, you must learn to see it as an opportunity for self-reflection. It is in these moments of silence that you realize who truly values your presence and who does not. Many of us spend too much time chasing after people who do not see our worth. We try to fit into places where we were never meant to belong. But the more we seek validation from the wrong sources, the more we lose ourselves. The key to happiness is understanding that your value is not determined by someone else's response to you. You are worthy even when someone chooses to ignore you. You are enough even when others fail to recognize it. Learning to detach your self-worth from external validation is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. Rejection in any form is painful, but sometimes it is actually a redirection towards something better. When one door closes, another one opens, one that is more aligned with your true purpose. Being ignored should not break you. Instead, let it shape you into a stronger, wiser person. Instead of dwelling on why someone chose to ignore you, shift your focus to the people who appreciate you. Surround yourself with those who see your worth, who value your presence, and who uplift you instead of making you feel invisible. The most important thing to remember is that your light does not need permission to shine. You do not need anyone's approval to be worthy. Keep being kind, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself. One day you will realize that being ignored was never a reflection of your inadequacy, but rather a sign that you were meant for something greater. Life has a way of leading us to the right places, but we must be willing to let go of the wrong ones. So if someone ignores you, don't let it hurt you. Let it guide you towards something better. Keep shining because your worth is undeniable, no matter who chooses to see it. Silence can be painful, especially when it comes from someone whose presence matters to us. When someone ignores you, it feels like a rejection, a cold dismissal that makes you question your worth. It creates self-doubt, making you wonder if you are not interesting enough, not important enough, or simply not good enough. But in reality, being ignored is not always about you. It is often about them. It is a sign that they may not be capable of appreciating you. And instead of letting it break you, you must learn to see it as a lesson. Life often teaches us through silence. When someone ignores you, it is a clear sign that you are investing your energy in the wrong place. It may be difficult to accept, but not everyone is meant to stay in your life. Some people are temporary, meant to teach you something and then leave. Others are simply not aligned with your journey, and no matter how much effort you put in, they will never truly see your worth. Instead of chasing those who ignore you, start focusing on those who genuinely value your presence. The right people will never make you feel invisible. It is natural to seek validation from others, but depending on it can be dangerous. If your happiness is based on someone else's attention, you will always be at their mercy. Your confidence should come from within, not from external approval. The moment you stop relying on others to make you feel valuable, you gain freedom. You realize that your worth is not something that can be determined by someone else's recognition or lack of it. Being ignored then becomes less of a wound and more of a wake-up call. It reminds you to love yourself first, to find fulfillment within, and to give your energy only to those who truly appreciate it. Rejection can be painful, but it can also be a blessing in disguise. Sometimes being ignored is life's way of redirecting you towards something better. It forces you to evaluate who you surround yourself with and whether they truly add value to your life. If someone chooses to ignore you, let them. Do not waste your time trying to convince them of your worth. Instead, focus on those who see your value without needing reminders. True connections do not require you to beg for attention. Growth comes from learning to let go of what does not serve you. Instead of dwelling on why someone ignored you, use that energy to build yourself up. Keep working on your goals, keep surrounding yourself with positive people, and keep believing in yourself. The more you focus on your own growth, the less affected you will be by the actions of others. One day you will look back and realize that being ignored was not a loss, it was a lesson. It was a sign that you were meant for something greater, and in the end, it led you exactly where you were meant to be. Rejection in any form can be painful, but silence has a different kind of sting. When someone ignores you, it can feel as though your existence is being dismissed, as if your words, your presence, and your emotions hold no value. It creates an emptiness that leads to self-doubt, making you wonder what you did wrong or why you are not worthy of attention. However, the truth is that being ignored is often not about you at all. It is a sign, a message that life is trying to send your way. It is an opportunity to step back and reassess where you are placing your energy and whether those efforts are being reciprocated. People often seek validation from others, believing that attention is a measure of self-worth. It is natural to want to feel seen, heard, and appreciated, but when you allow someone else's acknowledgement to define your value, you give away your power. No one should have the ability to make you feel small or insignificant. Being ignored is not an indication of your inadequacy. It is a reflection of the other person's priorities, mindset, or emotional capacity. Instead of taking it personally, view it as a chance to prioritize yourself. Every experience, even the painful ones, carries a lesson. When someone ignores you, it teaches you who truly values you and who does not. It shows you where your presence is cherished and where it is merely tolerated. The key is to recognize when it is time to stop seeking approval from people who are unwilling to give it. Chasing after those who do not acknowledge you will only drain you emotionally. Instead, redirect that energy toward those who appreciate you for who you are. True connections do not require constant pursuit. They flow naturally with mutual effort and respect. Rejection is often redirection. Sometimes being ignored is life's way of steering you away from situations or people that are not meant for you. It forces you to look elsewhere, to seek better opportunities, and to invest in relationships that truly uplift you. If someone chooses to ignore you, let them. Do not fight for a place in someone's life if they are unwilling to make space for you. Instead of feeling disheartened, see it as a sign that you are meant for something greater, something more fulfilling. Your worth is not dependent on external validation. The moment you realize this, you become unstoppable. Confidence comes from within, and once you learn to stand strong on your own, no amount of rejection or indifference can shake you. Focus on personal growth, self-love, and surrounding yourself with positivity. Keep moving forward, knowing that you deserve to be seen, heard, and valued. One day you will look back and realize that being ignored was not a setback, but a powerful lesson that helped you find the people and opportunities that were truly meant for you. Being ignored is a deeply unsettling experience. It creates a void within, a feeling of invisibility that can make even the strongest person question their worth. When someone chooses to ignore you, it is natural to wonder what went wrong. Did you say something that upset them? Are you not interesting enough? Do you not matter to them at all? These thoughts can consume you, making you doubt yourself in ways you never imagined. But the truth is, being ignored is not necessarily a reflection of who you are. It is often a sign that you are looking for validation in the wrong places. People often seek attention because they believe it affirms their importance. The need to be acknowledged, to be heard, to be valued is a natural human desire. However, placing your self-worth in the hands of others is a dangerous thing. When you allow someone's silence to dictate how you feel about yourself, you give them control over your emotions. The reality is, not everyone is capable of appreciating you the way you deserve. Some people may take your presence for granted, while others may be too preoccupied with their own lives to notice the effort you put in. Instead of allowing their indifference to affect you, see it as an opportunity to refocus your energy on those who truly value you. Life teaches us through experiences, and sometimes being ignored is a lesson in disguise. It shows you where you are valued and where you are merely an afterthought. It helps you distinguish between genuine connections and one-sided relationships. No matter how much you care for someone, if they continuously ignore you, it is a sign that they are not meant to be a central part of your life. Instead of chasing after those who refuse to acknowledge you, start paying attention to those who do. True relationships, whether in friendship, family, or love, do not make you feel unworthy. They do not require you to beg for attention or question your significance. Rejection, whether direct or indirect, is painful. However, it is also a form of redirection. Sometimes, when a person ignores you, it is life's way of telling you that you are meant for something greater. It is an invitation to focus on yourself, to invest in your growth, and to surround yourself with people who genuinely appreciate you. Holding on to those who disregard you will only drain your energy. Letting go, though difficult, is often the best thing you can do for your well-being. Your worth is not determined by someone else's response to you. The moment you internalize this truth, you will realize that no amount of rejection or silence can diminish your value. Keep moving forward with confidence. Keep shining even when no one acknowledges it. One day you will look back and understand that being ignored was never a loss. It was a necessary step toward finding the people and places where you truly belong. Being ignored is a feeling that cuts deep. It is not just the absence of words or attention. It is the silent message that you do not matter enough to be acknowledged. This can be painful, making you question your self-worth and wonder if you are not good enough. When someone chooses to ignore you, it is easy to fall into the trap of self-doubt, overanalyzing every interaction and searching for answers that may never come. The mind begins to spiral, replaying moments in an attempt to understand what went wrong. But the truth is, being ignored is not always about you, it is often about them. It is a sign, a hidden message wrapped in silence, urging you to look beyond the pain and understand the deeper meaning behind it. People tend to believe that acknowledgement from others validates their existence. The need to be seen and heard is a natural human desire, one that stems from our longing for connection. However, seeking validation in the wrong places can be exhausting and damaging. When someone continuously ignores you, they are showing you where you stand in their life. Instead of allowing their silence to make you feel small, take it as a lesson. It is an opportunity to reassess your priorities and recognize that your worth is not tied to someone else's ability to appreciate you. No person's attention should determine how valuable or significant you feel. Life has a way of teaching us lessons in the most unexpected ways, and being ignored is one of them. It teaches you who is genuinely interested in being part of your life and who is merely tolerating your presence. It shows you that no matter how much effort you put into a relationship, it will never thrive unless both people are equally invested. When someone ignores you, it may feel like rejection, but it is often a blessing in disguise. It is a sign that they may not be the right person for you, that you deserve relationships that are mutual, where your presence is valued without conditions. Rejection and indifference can be painful, but they can also be redirections towards something better. Sometimes being ignored is life's way of steering you toward those who genuinely see you and appreciate you for who you are. Instead of chasing after people who fail to recognize your worth, focus on those who do. The people meant for you will never make you question your significance. They will never put you in a position where you have to wonder if you are important to them. Your worth is not dependent on external validation. It is not defined by who chooses to acknowledge you and who does not. The moment you understand this, you free yourself from the emotional weight of seeking approval. Keep growing, keep shining, and keep moving forward. One day you will realize that being ignored was not a loss, but a sign that you were meant for more, that you deserve better, and that you are enough just as you are.